I'm Liz Brown Swanson, and welcome to RPV City Talk. I'm with the great mayor of Rancho Palos Verdes, Mayor Barbara Ferraro, back again with our monthly update of all that's happening in the city, and we're bringing it to you from the gorgeous Terranea Resort. It doesn't get any better than this, Mayor.
No, it certainly doesn't. And we're on the patio of Marcel's.
This is their fanciest, wonderful restaurant, and there's so much here to explore on the resort we're going to share during this show. But you just had your monthly Mayor's Breakfast right here off in Catalina Kitchen. How did that go? Tell us a little bit about the Mayor's Breakfast.
I love the Mayor's Breakfast here. It's just such a nice room to have the committee and commission chairs meet in. Our city manager was on vacation, and so we had our deputy city manager, Karina Banales, there, and it was just a lovely breakfast. Now that we're on the patio of Marcel's, it's just gorgeous.
I think we need to start planning our staycation at Terranea.
Yes.
Let's do it. School's out for summer soon. I can't believe this resort's going on 14 years, and I think the best way to find out more is to go to terranea.com. To find out, because they've got a lot of cool things happening with summer here.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy about being here? Because you as mayor mentioned you were on the council prior, before this resort came to be. You were part of that.
Yes. I worked on it as a council member for 5 years, and it was 6 years after that that the grand opening took place. And it's really interesting because so many people were opposed to this, opposed to that. You know, you've got to have native plants, you've got to do this. And in the end, once it opened, I don't think we've had a complaint because it's just so beautifully done. You know, we were able to put in the native plant garden out front. Everything took into account being cognizant of the environment and making it better. So it's just a beautiful place.
Yes.
And so many people that, you know, even kids from our area work here, and we get to come here and have breakfast and lunches and dinners, and it's just a gorgeous place to have in our city.
Yeah, you can talk about this resort in terms of how they've been such great stewards of the land and the beautiful walking trails, and there's so much to enjoy with nature here, and lots of fun too. Like they're kicking off, it's Memorial Day weekend, they're saying they're just kicking off now their sound series, so you can come down to Nelson's and enjoy some music. And the list of activities to do there, they have a brand new champagne bar that's opened up up on the patio that I stopped by and visited just to see what's going on there. So come on down and check it out.
I love the patio.
They are part of our community,
Yeah.
and going on 14 years. Can you believe it?
They're a wonderful part of our community.
And
in fact, our celebration of our 50th anniversary of the city is going to be here on September 9th. So I hope that everyone will put in a note on their calendar so that they can remember that date and come and celebrate with us. And it's going to be here at Terranea.
it's going to be the party you don't want to miss.
Yep.
We know how to party here in RPV, that is for certain. And also, one of the leaders here, of course, is Ralph Rippo, who took over a year ago running the resort, and he stopped by to say hi to us. He's doing a fantastic job building the team, and I know they're working really towards making this truly a 5-star resort for the community.
Well, I think it's about 10-star.
I agree.
Already.
And not to mention the millions of dollars in transient occupancy tax that this resort generates for RPV. We're going to talk more about that when we discuss the budget later on the show, but I think they're projecting almost $7 million in TOT that's going to come into our coffers for the city. Very critical to help us do what we do in Rancho Palos Verdes.
Yes. The largest inflow of cash, of course, is our real estate tax. But second is Terranea. And not only do we get the transient occupancy tax, but they participate in so many events in our community.
Yes.
And there are a lot of seniors here, and it's really nice to be able to go to events in our community instead of having to drive downtown or off the hill.
Yes, I know. This is the place where, for me, I just live up the street, so it's one of my favorite places to come. You grab a coffee at Sea Beans, you take a nice stroll with friends, get your exercise in, and then hopefully you come back and check in and jump in the pool. But anyway, we have lots to talk about in the show. It's just so great to be here with you in this gorgeous setting. This is a perfect RPV day, right? We've got Catalina in the background and birds flying overhead, and it's beautiful out. And that's what we do in our city.
One more day in paradise.
Yes, we are paradise. The month of May, lots to celebrate. It was Asian American, Native, Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Month. The City Council had a special ceremony to recognize this, the important role of the Asian community. Talk about just that and what we do to celebrate all cultures in Rancho Palos Verdes.
Well, as a school teacher, if I looked at the last names of the kids in my class, I would think that I was talking about the United Nations.
Right.
And I think that's one of the real beauties of this community, and especially of our city, is that we have people from all over the world. And instead of it being separated and thought of as being different, we all come together in a very special way. And it's like one giant international family.
You're right. And we've grown our family. Just 3 years ago, Rancho Palos Verdes became sister cities with Sakura City, Japan.
Yes.
And that's very exciting. We'll have another ceremony coming up, and that's been very special.
Yes, I'm hoping that at Ladera Linda, as it gets finished and we start planning landscaping, that we're going to plant a few cherry trees in honor of our sister city.
That's exciting. And then the City Council has been moving forward with preserving the traditional Japanese-American farming tradition here with our Hatano Farm, and that's making progress with historic designation as we continue to look forward to future plans for Hatano Farm. So stay tuned for that, right?
Yes, it's the last really remnant of Japanese farming in our community. And when I first moved here, I just didn't know any better. I went down to Annie's stand on PV Drive South and would buy vegetables and flowers. It's just a very special place. And the Hatano Farm is our way of preserving that legacy.
Yes. All right, we're moving on to talk about more city business, as we do every month on our City Talk show, issues that have been coming before the City Council. You've spent a lot of time in the last few months discussing the next budget for the fiscal year, the capital improvement program for future projects, city goals, all of that. We're getting closer to finalizing the budget in June. Just sort of your thoughts on how the budget is shaping up, the process, anything you want to let the community know, especially with some of maybe the projects we're going to be funding, like perhaps with the Civic Center, new Civic Center future, and the Portuguese Bend landslide, the list goes on.
Yes, it does seem like the list goes on. And it's that time of year again, because we're finalizing it before the start of our new fiscal year, which, like many companies, the fiscal year begins July 1.
Yes.
So we'll be approving the budget next council meeting.
Right. And I know also for programs coming up through the capital improvement program, there's discussion about what's going to happen with funding the landslide project, right? That's a huge one.
Yes.
Civic Center future, looking into a master plan for that, so exciting. And I think when the projected budget for next year might be up to about 38 million, is that right? Around that?
It sounds about right.
Yes, yes. So watch the City Council meeting in June. I think it's the June 20th meeting that you'll be finalizing the budget. And go to our website, rpvca.gov. Click on the meetings. They're amazing to watch. It's right there. You can actually pick whatever agenda item you want to listen to for that matter, right?
Yes. I'm glad you mentioned the website, because that is the best place to go for information about anything related to the city. I mean, everything from who's on the City Council to the agendas to when our next concerts will be.
Yes.
Everything. In fact, if you want to watch Ladera Linda being built, just go and check out the camera that's permanently on, well, maybe not too permanently, but it's there to see every day, if you like, what's happening with Ladera Linda.
You see it unfolding and being built up right before your eyes.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the budget for the next fiscal year, there is a new line item in it, and it's to help fund a pilot program for creating what's going to be called a city, community, and safety division. And what that is really all about is a way to supplement public safety. Do you want to share with the community just sort of the council's goals and direction with this, creating this new division, and what's going to be involved with that?
Well, it's to bring in some of the services that have been part of LASD, the Sheriff's Department, things that can be done by a non-sworn officer, bring that in-house under the city manager's office, and we'll still have LA sheriffs, watching out for us. But this just takes some of the paperwork, so to speak, off their hands, and they can be more visible in the community.
Right, so it's going to supplement sheriff services now.
But it's not to take the place of the services.
Right.
It's to supplement it.
But it could result in some cost savings for the city down the road with certain services that we'll do rather than having the sheriff's department
Yes.
to do that. Is that right?
Yes.
And of course, whether we're relying on the sheriff's department or this new community safety division, we also rely on our residents, the neighbors, to be diligent. We say it every time we're on television, I feel like, reminding people, if you see something, say something.
Yes.
All of that, so important.
Yes. This morning at the leaders' breakfast, Lieutenant White emphasized one more time, if you see something, don't be afraid to just call the station and say, there's a strange car in our neighborhood, and I just wondered if you'd check on it. And if it's nothing, that's great.
Right.
But if it's something, you've probably saved a neighbor's house from being ransacked. And we don't have a big problem here, but we don't want a problem here either.
You got it. RPV can still claim we're in the top 10 safest cities in the state, but
Yes.
as we'll say, one crime is one too many, so we
Yes.
just need to be vigilant.
Yeah.
The month of May was also, was Wildfire Awareness Month, and I feel in recent years our city council has been more than aware, trying to spread information, working with all 4 cities about the real threat of wildfire, as we are considered a high fire hazard zone for the Peninsula. So together, the cities are working on the Hill to increase resources, including now you've launched a new public safety website, pvpready.gov.
Yes, and I went on that site last night myself, and please be sure to type in .gov, because I typed in pvpready.com and it didn't work. I got some other strange site. We're becoming a zone area, and you can check on your zone. I checked on my zone, put in my street address, and it said, no problems in your area.
I like it.
And it was like, whoa, phew, okay. And but it's going to be another tool in our bag of tricks for people to stay aware of what's happening on the peninsula.
The website, which is pvpready.gov, is called the Know Your Zone, like you're saying, and it's really about emergency planning.
Yes.
And what do you do, like to evacuate in an event of an emergency, whether it's a fire, or whatever, to try to prevent confusion and chaos when that day comes. But until that day comes, you're only going to know. But it's, like you said, another tool. And in terms of tools that we are using in the city has just installed the first of wildfire detection cameras.
Yes.
Called the camera system's called Pano AI, which we almost thought what we thought it was originally.
I thought it was Pano Owl.
Yeah.
I still call it Pano Owl.
Pano AI for artificial intelligence. Again, through a grant, through the state grant money we got. It's a $1 million plus camera system that's being installed. We have one now at City Hall. That camera just went up, and they're going to be installing more, really to detect if there's any kind of fire in the preserve specifically, right? I mean, that's
it's actually going to cover the entire peninsula.
Unbelievable.
The other cities as well, because right now I think we have 4 cameras operating, one of which is here at Terranea. They are kind enough to allow us to have one on top here, and it's to early detect any kind of fire. So any wisp of smoke is going to be picked up on these cameras, and we've been many years now without any kind of major blaze at all. However, this is another tool to keep our residents safe, because obviously public safety is number one.
Yes.
And so this is actually, though, benefiting the entire peninsula.
Yes, and those cameras, they rotate like 360 degrees, and I guess they can detect the earliest wisp or spark of ignition, which is what you need. And so that's amazing that there's a camera installed here. I saw the one on the big pole behind City Hall. And so all of this to help keep our residents safe and prevention, really.
Yes.
The mayors all just got together from the cities. We talk about the coordination of all cities working together as one family. There was the mayor's State of the Cities you addressed that was happening at the Palos Verdes Golf Club. Give us a little overview of how that went, sort of your message to the other mayors and just issues that might have come up.
We're the biggest city.
Yes.
But each city on the hill is different, and yet we all cooperate because we have one school district for all our children. We have one library district for the Peninsula, and yet each city is a little bit different in how they're put together, how they're run. And so it was just nice at it was the Chamber of Commerce breakfast, really, breakfast. Yes. Then after that, we all had to go back to our main jobs. But it's always good to hear what's going on in the other cities.
Right. And your message, I'm sure everyone's always wanting to ask about what's happening with the Palos Verdes, with the landslide mitigation. Was that part of your focus? Because people want to know what's going on with that road and efforts to help slow down that slide.
Well, anybody that's been across that road lately knows that it's a little bumpier than it used to be. It just is moving. And we're hoping to be able to get the grant. We haven't heard yet, but we have submitted requests for a grant to be able to pull water out of the landslide, because water's the culprit. You know, as it flows underneath, it takes out the earth that is supporting that road, and we don't want it to get to where one day we have a catastrophic road failure and then we can't even cross the peninsula on PV Drive South.
Right. Which is a major connector, of course, for right here we're sitting at Terranea to go down the road to Trump. So I know that the council and staff, everybody's working really hard on this to really move it along, because it's been going on for more than a half a century, that our notorious worldwide landslide that we're known for. But hopefully we'll see some progress, more progress.
The most active landslide in North America.
Yeah. Lots of activity in our community, specifically having to do with peafowl, right?
Well, not so much really, because we had it on our agenda last week. We got a lot of emails from people saying, don't do anything about it, don't trap anymore. And that was the decision of the council, to not do anything right now. It's going fine. We have some. It's wonderful. They're beautiful. I stopped to talk to one bird this week. My granddaughter thought I was nuts. But I said, you know, you're okay. It's good to see you out.
Right. So the city paused the peafowl trapping program, which began 8 years ago, to help control the population, which was out of control in certain neighborhoods. I think there's 6 neighborhoods that are targeted in RPV, and every year we have a census, which they go out, and I found that interesting how they can kind of try to do an estimate or a count, and as long as the number is at a certain level, you halt the program. So that's where we're at, right? The numbers are manageable.
Yes.
And I think, like you said, you either love those birds or you don't, but you can't. How can you deny they're beautiful?
They are.
Yes.
And they've become a real symbol of RPV and a symbol of the peninsula.
Yes, and I know it might be upsetting for those that don't want to see these beautiful birds trapped. When we do, it's humanely done. They're safely trapped, and they're brought to other communities where they're welcomed in it. And so
they're never euthanized.
Yes. So well, for now we have it. We have that on. That program is on for the
suspended.
Birds. Suspended
for now.
Yes. Moving on, we've got lots of fun things to talk about, like all the parties happening in Rancho Palos Verdes, right?
Yes.
This is our city's 50th anniversary year. Every month we've got things going on. So why don't we talk a little bit about what we've got coming up. I think we've got coming up in the month, there's a concert in the park.
Yes.
And we've got 4th of July.
There's a concert in the park. It will be at the Kendida Civic Center. I think it's June 17th. And it's free. Come, bring a lawn chair or a blanket to spread, and just sit back and enjoy. I enjoyed the concerts last summer so much. Just good to see neighbors and friends, and there's another one in August. Both of them are going to be kind of music from the 70s and
like
80s.
That.
I know, me too. There are also going to be 3 movies in the park. Those are going to be at the Kendida Civic Center as well. The first one is Minions,
Ooh.
something about the GRU, and another one's about Super Mario. So check our city website for the exact dates and times. There again, they're in the evenings. Also, the 4th of July is coming up, and we're going to have a drone show. And the drone show is obviously going to be later in the evening, so the normal 4th of July celebration is not going to start until 3 this year.
That's very exciting. So that'll be our version of fireworks, which
Yes.
we've never had. Or I don't know if they used to have them back in the day, but since I've lived in the community, I've never seen fireworks. So that's exciting.
Well, I've been here 46 years.
You would know.
And I've never known them to have fireworks because it's just too dangerous on our dried out peninsula. Although this year would be an exception to being dried out.
So 4th of July is always a lot of fun. Then there's a community-wide celebration coming up that's been organized through the Library District. It's called Dope Without the E, which is Doors Open Peninsula. It's June 7th. I know and they named it this event because they're celebrating 100 years of when the first real estate transaction took place. That's Doors Open on the peninsula. And it's going to be June 17th. Our city is very involved, all the communities on the Hill. What would you want to share about that particular day? There's a community events all day, including right here at Terranea. Stop by. They're going to be having educational information about the history of this resort, of the property. But anyway, your thoughts on the Doors on Peninsula event coming up?
Well, what most people don't realize is that the peninsula itself is 100 years old this year. And our city is only 50 years old, which seems like a lot until you get to the 100 year. But the celebration is going to be for the entire peninsula, and RPV is definitely participating. And keep your eyes peeled for more information in the PV News and also on our city website.
Yes, I know that our cities will, of course, they're going to have tours of the lighthouse. Which are back again every month now, so they'll have tours on that day. And I think if you come to the Kendida Civic Center in the morning, there'll be tours of our wonderful property up there, and you'll learn about the history.
I think they're even going to have a tour where you can go to the bunker.
Yes, so you'll want to check all that out, the World War II bunker on our property. We got it all happening. RPV is young and fun.
Yeah.
Because we're 50, we're the youngest city. How about sharing more mayoral activities? Every month you've got things going on as mayor, not just the council meetings. Anything you want to let us know that share some of the activities you've been involved with?
Well, last weekend I went to 2 different homeowners association meetings on the same day, on Sunday. The first was Del Cerro, and they have a very active and cohesive homeowners association there with Kathy Edgerton at the helm. The interesting thing was it was wrapped in fog at their place, and then I went over to one of the homeowners on off of Western, and it was bright sunshine. So it made me think about the little micro climates that we have in our city, not just on the peninsula, but in our city. But it's really good to see the neighbors come together in the homeowners meetings, because it's just the neighbors that know what's happening in your community and what's out of place and when to call the sheriff because something is out of place. And it's fun to just be with the neighbors and share a bite to eat and hear the news of the day.
Yes.
In fact, our Mediterranean homeowners is having a get-together on the 4th of June. So this is the time of year when many of the homeowners associations get together.
Yes, our city does have a lot of homeowners organizations, and they are a really close-knit group. And then you have the greater CHOA, which is the Council of Homeowners, right? That then they all connect. So I think that's one thing we do like to it takes a village mentality in our community. I love that about RPV.
Well, it makes it feel more like a family.
Yes. And there was somewhat of, it felt like a family celebration at the city council meeting, your last city council meeting, when you honored Marymount California University's, since this former school is closed and the former president was there, Brian Marcotte, just share that experience and the importance of recognizing the role of Marymount now that they've closed their campus now this year, which, we were all sad to see that happen. My kids went to the preschool there. We all have a connection there.
Oh yeah. My kids went there when they were in elementary school, and they're now a little older and have children of their own. It was really a wonderful place. It was a wonderful school. The kids from Mira Catalina Elementary walked down the hill to Marymount, and they would have a big festival day because they had a lot of students from other countries.
Yes.
And so you would have dances, you would have music, and everybody had food from different countries, and the kids got their little passports stamped, as they went along. There's so many things. They had musical programs, they had speakers that were open to the community,
They were on for 60 plus years in serving the community, and to have, the audience was filled with some of the professors from there and the students from there. Our own Jeff Coven, videographer behind the camera, he was a student there. So we have so many connections, and it was so nice that you recognized them. And I know UCLA has purchased the property, correct? So we're sort of waiting to see what will happen there.
Well, I think from the meeting that I went to, they're looking at possibly having some kind of program that relates to the ocean, to the water, because we're so close. It may even tie into Cabrillo Marine Aquarium.
Wonderful.
Because they do a lot of research there. And as the president of the university said, he took one look at the view from Marymount and said, we're in.
Yes, I mean, it's a stunning property.
It is.
And it'll be exciting. Change sometimes is hard, but it's going to be a great change as well. And we have to wrap it up. I know that we're ready just to, we don't even want to leave this resort, Tanara. I mean, we'll just go to the front desk and hang out, check in.
Yeah.
Final mayor's announcements, as we always do in the show. Anything else you want to add for the community to be aware of as we wrap up our monthly update?
I would just say, go to the website, check it out, because there is so much information. All of the programs that are going to be happening during the summer, like the movies in the park, the musical concerts in the park, the 4th of July, and then eventually our celebration of our 50th anniversary. It's a happy time for our city. And I just hope that many people from all over the peninsula will come to our 50th anniversary celebration.
Which will be right here at Terranea on September 9th, because the official date of 50 is September 7th of the city's incorporation, but it's going to be magnificent. And go to the city website, like our mayor is saying, rpvca.gov, and the Terranea website, terranea.com. I can't thank the team enough here, how they've hosted us, and we've got the best seat in the house. I mean, we got this beautiful view and just enjoying it all and taking it in. So with that, thank you, Mayor, for your time and all you're doing for your service to our city. And we'll see you next time here at RPV City Talk. Until then, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining us.